just thought it was interesting watching your assessment with Ollie. Like, man, has this guy been doing the exact same fingerboard protocol for the last, since 2005, so almost 20 years? Because it seems like it, at least looking at it from the outside, it seems like you found something that you like, that works for you, and you just punched the clock on it for almost 20 years, and you're still hitting PRs, and that's fascinating to me. Is that more or less true? Is it pretty much the same approach?
Yeah, when you put it like that, that is interesting, and yeah, you nailed it. Really, that's almost exactly what I've been doing. Pretty much the same thing. Just like a few sets of pulling as hard as I possibly can for as long as I can, on the different grip types, and doing that several times a week, week in, week out. Consistency, I think, is the most important word in training, and that you gain strength slowly, and you're right to also observe that all the PRs I've had on the fingerboard in recent years have all been when I've been doing carnivore diets. That is true.
Wow.
And when I was making the video about this latest one, I'm just editing at the moment, I was kind of laughing about that in the video myself, because it is kind of funny. I just sort of am passing on that finding as at face value. People can interpret it how they wish. I would say that it's most likely due to just being a bit leaner on those diets. I'm a little bit leaner, there's less body fat to hang on the hold, and therefore I can pull a bit harder. However, when I did that McDonald's experiment, the increase in my 3-finger drag hang from the start of the experiment to the end was 16.5 kilos.
Whoa.
My body weight was 3.5 kilos lighter. So,
wow.
Obviously, there's a bit of a mismatch. There's something else there.
That's fascinating. After doing this type of hangboarding for almost 20 years, that's astounding. What was your baseline, I guess, at the start of the experiment relative to your all-time max, I guess?
Yeah. So just to flesh that out so people understand exactly what my bests were. So at the start of that diet of eating the patties, my body weight was 68.8 kilos, I think, and I could hang with just my body weight for about 8 seconds or so. So that's kind of pretty far off my best, which I kind of expected because I was a bit heavier, but also because I was coming off the tail end of the summer when I hadn't really been doing any hangboarding. My best ever was like a couple of weeks before I went and did that test with Ollie, and that was like a year before. My body weight then was 65.2 kilos, and I could hang for 5 seconds with 10 kilos in my other hand.
Wow.
So that was my absolute best. So at the end of the patties diet, I hung for like 6 seconds or something with 16.5 kilos in the other hand. So it was like 6.5 kilos better than my previous personal best.
Wow.
And 16.5 kilos better than the start of the experiment. But you've got to take off the 3.5 kilos change in body weight.
Right. Right.
There's another component there. So what is that? I don't really know. The patties diet was the longest time that I've eaten only a carnivore diet. So I'm just starting to wildly speculate, like, what could explain that difference? I don't really know, but yeah, possibly that combination of high quality fat and carbohydrate together. It's just a good combination for gaining muscular strength. And the other interesting thing is that during the experiment, I deliberately did no hangboard training at all. So for the duration of that McDonald's diet, I didn't actually climb on my board at all.
Oh.
Or do any hangboarding, because I didn't want to confound it with training effects. I didn't do my normal stuff.
Okay, so you tested and you were barely at body weight, and then you ate McDonald's patties for 2 months, lost 3 kilos, and then hung body weight plus 16 kilos without doing any fingerboard training that whole time?
Yeah. I did do my normal outdoor climbing. So this is where it gets complicated, because if you're looking for explanations, then possibly the explanation that might actually be the true one is that just going outside and trying hard on projects is actually the best strength training. Either that or eating McDonald's burger patties.
That's so fascinating, man.
So I'm not saying I can explain the findings. I can't.
Yeah.
But they're there. So
that begs the question. I kind of asked this earlier, and then I asked another question and distracted you away from it. But it begs the question: why not just eat McDonald's patties for the rest of your life? Like, why go away from a strict carnivore diet of any kind when they seem to have worked so well for you?
Yeah, no, it's a fair question, and I don't really have a great answer. And possibly I would, if I really felt that taking out a small amount of low-carb vegetables out of my diet really made a difference. I'm still just incredibly skeptical that can be the case. That just doesn't seem right. So I'm just naturally like, that just cannot be right. It's one of those horrible things where I wish there was a study out there to tell me the answer, but there isn't. I would have to try it.
Hey friends, I'm interrupting my own video to tell you guys about follow-up episodes. So the video that you're watching right now is from a follow-up episode that I did on the podcast, which means that the full version is only available for patrons who support the podcast for $5 per month or more. You can become a patron by going to patreon.com/thenuggetclimbing. There's a link right there in the description for this video. Again, $5 per month, super quick and easy to sign up, and you can cancel at any time, no questions asked. All right, enjoy the rest of the video. Yeah, it was really fun to watch the video that you posted a while back of doing that assessment with Ollie Torr at Lattice Training. Oh, yes. I was surprised to see that you seemed surprised by the results. That was really fun. What surprised you about that experience and about the results from that assessment?
Fundamentally, I was surprised that I was stronger than I thought I was in general. Just my basic hang strength on a hangboard was a wee bit better than I thought. And also comparatively, so when I was talking to Ollie, actually off the camera later on, he was sort of waxing lyrical about it and talking about other climbers he tested and saying, hey, you're not that far off like such and such and such and such climber. And that was quite interesting to think that. Because always the game with assessing your own strengths and weaknesses is trying to be objective. That's always a difficult thing. You've got these biases. So, and I guess my bias was I felt that I was on the weaker side. But I still actually think that's true. But I think it's maybe a little bit more complicated than that. And I always thought that my raw crimp strength was quite poor. And it's not as bad as I thought, so that was surprising.
Well, it sounds like it definitely was the limiting factor for you at the start of your finger journey, but now you've been finger training, for what, a decade or something?
Yeah, at least, yeah, probably more like 15 years or something. Yeah. 15 odd years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think the summer that I started fingerboarding was 2005. Yeah.